Greetings, everybody. Greetings, Wheatley. Thank you very much, Principal Washington, for welcoming me to come and share business opportunities for everyone who is here on today. Also like to thank you, the administration, staff, and the teachers for teaching my two sons who did attend Wheatley some years back. They're getting big, but thank you for your continued excellence in seeing our little ones grow. My name is Dr. Levy Barnes. Some of you may already recognize me. I know you see me on the news and stuff. But there are others who recognize me from the biggest toy giveaway in the city of Port Arthur called Christmas with Dr. Levy. We've been doing this now for 10 years, and we give out hundreds of quality toys, bicycles, hoverboards, and all that good stuff to the beautiful children of Port Arthur, Texas who are in financial need or orphans. Also, we do a program called Pathway to Life in the high schools where we help teach young people how to start their own business. We teach them how to avoid things that will deviate them from achieving success, how to avoid drugs, alcohol. We help them to discover their purpose, choose careers as well. In addition to that, I am the president of Lazak Homes, where we develop houses around the country. I'm also the vice president of Mortgage Dynamics, where we fund people to get houses all throughout the country. In addition to that, I'm an author, as I mentioned earlier, for the Pathway to Life program. I've also written several other books. Many of you also know me for some of the laws that I've written and pushed for equality. In addition to that, I am the inventor of Q Hair Regrowth Spray. For those who suffer with hair loss, I invented a hair product years ago that is sold in beauty supply stores, pharmacies, hair salons, and things like that. And I do a lot of things also. I'm a preacher, adjunct professor at Bethel Bible College. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love teaching. I used to be a teacher. But I'm here today to talk about how you could be successful. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm also a recording artist. I had a single on the top 100 billboards a few years back called I Cried during the pandemic. And I love singing. If I had the choice, really, I would just sing and I wouldn't do all this other business stuff. But I do business stuff, so here I am. So I'm here to talk to you about how you can aim for success. I want you to know that when you have an employer, as long as you work for them with that job, you're not going to make more money than them. That's point blank. Unless you have other streams of income. And I remember when I was teaching, I drive around my nice car and teachers, they ask, how are you affording all this type of stuff? Well, I had to do stuff on the side as well. I will say teaching was one of my passions. I love teaching so much, but I had it hard as well in life. You're looking at someone at one time who was homeless, lost everything, but I was able by God's grace to build up my portfolio, create wealth for myself, and I'm fortunate that I don't have to work for other people anymore. So that's good. The only person I do semi-work for is my dad for his company, but I'm the vice president with it. So we just kind of make plans together with that. But I could walk away whenever I want to walk away. If I want to walk away, I'm playing about that. Hope you're not seeing this one, Dad. But he and I, we are partners. I'm also part of my mother with her nonprofit, and we serve the community. So let's talk about how to be business savvy, start your own business, stop begging. That's number one. There are many ways to make money, but begging is not the way. Unless you're a nonprofit and you're serving other people, you're asking for money to do things for people. But when you're just asking for money, just begging, those are things that limit you from reaching success. Renting. Don't rent. There are so many opportunities for you to become a house owner. And some of you may say, well, I don't make enough money or my credit's bad. Get your credit together. Let's say if you want to borrow $1,000 from me and I have the money to give it to you. But let's see. Let me just ask a few people you've borrowed $1,000 from in the past. Hey, do you know Sally? And forgive me if there's someone out there named Sally. Do you know Sally? Oh yeah, I know Sally. She borrowed $1,000 from me. Okay, did she pay you back? No, she sure didn't. She stopped answering my phone calls. Let me ask another person. Say, do you know Sally? Oh yeah, we lent her $100 before. Okay, did she pay you back? She sure didn't. Oh, let's ask another one. Hey, did you ever lend money to Sally? Oh yeah, I gave her some money. Okay, did she pay you back? She pays me back, but half the time she's late. You know, she may give it this month, she may not give it. I have to charge her all these extra fees to force her to pay her bills on time. Do you think I want to give you $1,000? No, I'm not going to give you $1,000 unless I think I can make extra money off of you. And so, getting your credit, paying your bills on time is very important because you're going to look bad in business. So, if you want to be a business owner, you have to have your own personal affairs in order. If you want to own a house, a lot of people are held back because they're not paying their things on time. They're not paying people back. So the first thing, be a good steward over what you have and pay the people back. All right. And now let's talk about homeownership. We're going to talk about homeownership. We're going to talk about businesses, how to start your own business. I'm going to try to do all of this within the next 5 to 7 minutes. Now, mind you, I am a preacher as well. And so when I say 5 to 7 minutes, this might be about 30 minutes. But for your time purpose, I'm probably going to have to keep it short. So homeownership. I'm talking to people who are living in Port Arthur. Port Arthur has a $40,000 grant that they will give you toward purchasing a new home, but you do have to be in the 80% area median income, which for Port Arthur is $47,000 a year for one person. If you make more than that amount, unless you have multiple people living in your house, like children and things like that, you couldn't qualify for it if you make too much. Now, if you do have multiple children in the household and you make up to like $78,000, then they will consider you for up to $40,000 toward the purchase of a new house. So a great case scenario, let's say if you're a teacher or administrator making $70,000 a year and you have 8 kids in your house or 5 kids in your house. In that situation, then they'll give you the $40,000 grant toward purchasing a house, or they'll give you $15,000 for an existing home. So let's say if you make more than that, if you make too much money, then there are other things available like zero down payment for any teacher, police officer, and actually a whole lot of other fields. I can get you zero down to get into a house, which means you just pick your house and move into it with zero down. Very simple. Stop paying rent, because when you pay rent, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. You can't leave anything to your children. You know, you pay rent every month faithfully on time all your life. And then that one, let's say if you get sick, or let's say if you lose your job, you try missing 2 months, you're out. But if you own your own house, oh, the glories of that. You don't have to worry about people running upstairs and making all that loud noise unless it's your own kids. In that situation, I still deal with that, being it's my own kids. But don't get stuck in the trap of rent. Own your own home. There are ways to do that. Now, there's another thing you can do. Let's say if you want to build your own house. How many of you want to build your own house? Raise your hand. I see you right there. See you right there. I can't see you. But anyway, if you want to build your own house, it is so simple, guys. You can build a house from the ground up without having to buy the lot. Some people think you have to buy the lot first and do all this. All you have to do with a lender, you can pick any house, any lot you want. This lot looks good. I would like to have a house right here. All right, the lender will fund the lot, will pay for the lot, and pay to build a house on that lot. And all you have to do is pay 3.5% down if you have the right credit and a decent income. You know, I have one person, he's making $80,000 a year. He's building a house from the ground up. All right. Let's say if you live in Port Arthur, you got $40,000 that can go toward that. How wonderful. Okay. So in addition to that, let's say if you want to move outside of Port Arthur, let's say if you want to move to Orange, China, or some of these surrounding cities around Port Arthur, which is USDA land territory. You could build a house from the ground up for zero down. Wow. Zero down will get you a house built from the ground up. That's when you live in the surrounding area. So they're great opportunities. Don't get such. So the credit score you have to have for those is at least for purchasing a regular house, you need at least a 600 credit score. That's still a bad score, but I can get you into a house with a 600 credit score with zero down. Now let's talk about some other things. We're going to stay on the topic of houses. Have you heard about the fixing and flipping opportunities? They have TV shows about fix and flip. Did you know there are lenders that give you all the money to fix a house? All of it. They just want to see you have a decent credit score. They will give you all the money you need if you have the house that will generate the right. Let's say I have one person I know, they found a house and the house only cost $25,000 because it was so raggedy. It cost them $80,000 to fix the house, and when it was done, the house was worth $200,000. Well, the lender paid for all the work to be done, 100% for the work to be done, and they got their profit. They probably spent like maybe a total of like $100,000 to buy and repair the house, and then they got $100,000 profit at the end when the house was sold. The lender gives you that opportunity to do that. You just have to have the good credit for it. So pay your bills on time, okay? So you can get into investment properties, fix and flips, or if you have the experience from building a house from the ground up, lenders will fund that as well. Lenders are looking for faithful people who they could use to build these properties and make money off of it. That's money. That's the country that we live in. We live in America, guys. So get that credit together. It's so important. Now, those of you who are struggling with your credit, you can give me a call. We have something called a rapid rescore where my company, we can look at your credit and give you the advice of what you need to do to fix it in 3 days. And it will be fixed in 3 days compared to some people think it'll take years and all this type of stuff. Credit is all an algorithm. Anyway, let's move on. So I taught for 6 years and I stopped teaching because they didn't pay me enough. All right. Now, some of you do teaching, just for the calling. I will say of all the things that I've done, all the careers that I have and the businesses that I own, the most fulfilling thing in my life was teaching. But it'll be great to have other forms and other streams of income, wouldn't it? So let's talk about that. You could start a business and be a teacher. It's possible. In order to do it, you could do several things. Now, sometimes people, they go the hard route and say, okay, I need all this money. Well, I started my first business back in college. Actually, no, that's not true. I started my first business actually in middle school. I used to make these poems and I framed them. I sold them for $10. It only cost me like $2 to get the frame and the paper. And then I sell for $10. Now my goal would be to sell 10 frames a day. But anyway, moving forward to now, I've started my first legitimate business and business that still runs today called Q Productions, which is where I house my hair product, Q Hair Regrowth Spray. I started that 10 years ago and it's called Q Productions. When I started the company, I didn't have the resources and the funds. My wife and I were expecting our first child. And when we were expecting our first child, I got laid off. And it was a hard time, but I prayed about it and God dropped in my spirit what to do. And I stepped out making $2,000 a week on my first business. And I was making more money than I was making on my last job. So what I did, I didn't need a lot of money. I just had like $100 to my name. So I bought some bottles. I created a way to grow my hair back. Never told anybody about it. And so I just made my formula, put it in these bottles I bought from Walmart, spent $100 toward it. And I went out in less than an hour, I sold out. So I'm like, okay, well, let me make a whole bunch more of this. And so I started just going from business to business, introducing my product. And I went from selling like maybe 100 bottles a week to walking in one business, selling almost 20,000 bottles, going to another business, like just making, large sums of money from this product. So there are ways to open up your own business. So first thing with opening your own business, the first thing you have to do is believe in your product or believe in your service. If you wash cars, if you fold clothes, whatever you do, if you have an invention, if you have a new pencil you want to create, you have to believe in it. And if you believe in it, you have to work toward it. And if you work toward it, you have to do it perfectly, do it your best. Because they have a whole lot of bootleg products out there. They have a whole lot of bootleg hair products out there, a whole lot of bootleg services. I know somebody who washes cars, but I will not bring my car over there to him because he's always botching it up, stealing stuff out of your change drawer, going your car, your hat missing, things like that. But if you have a service, you want to make sure you offer your best. And once you feel that you start your service, once you start making money, go ahead and legitimize it. Get your business license. You'll go to the Secretary of State for the state of Texas and register your business. You can either get a S Corp, C Corp, or LLC. Now, some people like to do a sole proprietorship because sole proprietorships are free or whatever. I don't recommend sole proprietorships, and the only reason why is because if something happens and they sue you, they're coming for you and all your stuff. With the LLC, S Corp, or C Corp, they can only come for that company and the assets that that company has. You can look more legitimate on paper, on taxes. You're looking to start your own, buy a house. You can legitimize it that way. But there's so many ways to do things. There are monies also available to start your own business. Like if you need a facility, you can get an SBA loan, and they have grants available as well. So there's so many things that you can do, but I don't have enough time to cover everything because my time's up. But in the meantime, you can meet me on March 9th. I will be at the Civic Center, and I'll have people who are grant writers there. I'll have people who provide grants. I'll have people who are looking for employees, people who are giving resources for home ownership. They'll all be there on March 9th at the Civic Center. From 9 a.m. till 4. Now, if you want that information, though, the 12 o'clock portion will be the portion that you want to be at. We'll have all the portion for education, grants available, SBA loans, and all the good stuff at the 12 o'clock portion. And then at 2 o'clock, we have the concert. I'll be singing. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for your time. I'm Dr. Levy. If you have any questions, you can go to my website at www.drlevy.info. Or you can go to mortgagedynamics.loan, or you can go to lazakhomes.com. My name is Dr. Levy Barnes, and I'm out.